Oh, way off topic on there. I gotta learn to keep things on topic. My brain functions in too many different directions. Business. All right, business. There we go. Just leave it on that right there. So, sorry about that. Sometimes I'm not happy with a video because it goes off topic. It's just too much going on in the video. It just bugs me. So that's why I delete videos. Not because I don't have evidence for this, that, and the other. There's just too much going on. All right, so let's do this short and sweet because I got a bunch of phone calls to make. First things first, my name is Kenneth Berman Company's IOEG Technology Screens. Um, the other video about the gamer paint, I'm still on the fence about that. I got to figure out how we're gonna. I got how we're gonna do it. I got the ingredients. I've got the ingredients and everything for that. So that's all written down. It's in paper already. Got to get ready to get that done. But business license. Definitely want to get a business license. Business license. You definitely want to obtain because again, as I said before, this is going to be the foundation of your business and all that stuff. So definitely want to get your business license out of the way. It's definitely something you want to do. I don't want to play around with that at all. Period. And then you're just going to have to figure out exactly, before you get to that point, you have to figure out what you're going to call your company's name. I got somebody right now helping get a business started. You got to figure out what you're going to call your company. That company's name is going to go on everything, and it has to represent exactly whatever you're selling. And then, after that, you're going to have to, once you got a company's name, figure out what you're selling. Whatever you're selling, I guess you would figure out what you're selling first, and then come with the company's name. Because again, you got to figure out exactly what is you're selling, what are you going to be, where can you buy your products from, you're going to be making them, you're going to get them wholesale. If you're getting them wholesale, you might want to pick up a wholesale tax identification ID license, which will allow you to get yourself for cheaper. That's another route you might want to go down. Give me a minute. That's one of them you want to do. You definitely want to do that. So figure out what you're going to sell. You know what I mean? And if you figure out what you're going to sell, figure out what you're going to name your company. And then after that, basically you want to get your license. Now, as I said before, a perfect example is a fellow by the name of Jamie Fernando Gonzalez. Again, this is not being done because again he feels it's done because he's hated. No one hates you on the end over here. We don't give the devil that satisfaction at the end of the day. But we did run an illegal counterfeiting ring in your apartment, so that makes you a perfect candidate on what people should not be doing is to run the business. And the business we call legit, it's not legit if you can't take it to the police, if you can't take it to code enforcement, if you really have things hidden about your business that you really can't show, then there's a problem there. There's a problem there altogether. And again, if you're running a business without proper zoning or proper building and all that stuff, you would need that's zoning too. And proper licensing, that's another problem you're going to have. Because again, like I said, these are problems that are going to grow into bigger problems, and then you're going to have all types of problems. So, for this individual, called himself running a company out of his apartment. Is there anything wrong with that? If people run eBay and all that stuff out of the apartments, yeah. Not a problem with that, but keep in mind that you still have to keep it small because on a larger level, this could cause traffic going in and out of the unit, and this will definitely get you an eviction notice quick. So again, you may want to branch off and get something else to run your business out of. As for this individual, again, not zoned. It's not zoned for that type of machinery. See, on eBay, you're selling a few items here and there, sneakers, clothing, whatever it may be, some stuff you may have laying around you want to sell. That's all good and well. There's no problem with that. You got a garage, you can store it in the garage if you want. Got a storage unit, put that in storage. That's stuff you can literally put in a storage unit. If you got stuff in your storage unit that basically can get you locked up, this is definitely breaking the lease and agreement with the storage unit. I rent a lot of storage units out. They'll ask you what's in there. If you say collectibles, it's pretty much what he probably said. They didn't say what type of collectibles. So, or stolen items, or stolen items at the end of the day. So, no, he's not licensed, not zoned to be in the apartment. And he can't operate this type of machines because the type of machines belong to be in an area where there's a lot of ventilation. Because they do give off chemicals, they do give off a kind of a smell. It's plastic, melted plastic. So it does give off fumes. And these fumes can be harmful, especially to him and his family that are actually operating these machines inside that unit. It's very dangerous. Again, outlets, he's running multiple machines, so outlets might not be to handle the wattage, which would cause fires. And on top of that, with the number of probably chemicals, what I saw in the videos, lots of aerosol cans and the chemicals used for this this could potentially cause a very serious fire, or even worse, an explosion. And mind you, the building has a gas line in it, so that will add to it. Someone somewhere in one of those buildings is going to be running gas. There's gas flowing through those pipes. They just don't cut off. They only cut off on your end. They're still flowing through that pipe. They hit that, boom, half that building's going to be gone. So it's a serious, serious risk to everybody in that building that he's operating that in there. The fact that we saw that the Jason Masters, as I said before, so he's printing out 1,000 for a customer. The person who purchased that, keep in mind that not only are they going to go through his information, but they're going to go through his PayPal account, they're going to go through his Cash App account, they're going to go through all that. And it doesn't make a difference if he deletes it. You can only delete it on your side. You can't delete it on the other side, which means to get a subpoena, they get access to all that, can tell exactly who bought what and where. They timeline it. Comic-Con. He's at Comic-Con doing these sales. You can see it right there on the videos. They're going to go there and they're going to check their logbooks on who came in, what went in there. That's why it says sister's name is going to pop up. If it's under her, it's going to pop up to her. They're going to investigate through her. They get to him. Not only this is going to be bad for a lot of people. If you're seen taking pictures with stolen items. Now, the customers could literally get around this one and say, hey, we didn't know. You know what I mean? I'm not a collector at the end of the day. I buy a few things here and there, but I don't really know a fake one from a real one. I only thought they were real. They can literally throw him on the bus, under the bus for that one, easily, with no problem whatsoever. So that pretty much would clear them. They would be ordered to give the stuff back. And when you get the stuff back, you don't get your money back. So you know that. You're not getting your money back at all, period. Any money he made at the end of the day, they're seizing all of it. They're going to seize every dime of it. And he's going to be ordered to pay back this money. Mind you, as this is going on, they have to contact these companies. So anything they find in there belonging to any company, they got to reach out to the company and say, hey, look, we got an investigation going on. We got a guy down here counterfeiting your stuff. We need you to address this issue. Their legal team is going to pop down with an attorney and say, hey, look, we never gave him authorization. We didn't even know all this was going on. This is where things get really messed up. So again, you may run the risk of dealing with the companies. Those people who actually receive that stuff, you can end up dealing with the companies. The company say, well, you received stolen goods. That's stolen goods. And all right, we want to file charges against you. There you go. This is where things get messy. Now, zoning comes into this. What we call building code enforcers have to get involved in this because the type of machinery was operating in there. They got to check the other apartments. They got to make sure these fumes or chemicals embedded themselves or knitted themselves into anything else. His apartment's going to be considered to be, they're going to condemn his apartment, which means he's going to get a red tag on the door. They're going to be told to move out. Well, they'll have to move out. He's going someplace else. He's getting locked up. So, yeah, that's all that's going to happen. And the only way that pretty much, like I said, he can stop this from happening, he'll just have to show you he got proof that these companies gave him permission to do so. He's going to have, well, I don't know how he's going to get around the zoning. Zoning is kind of impossible because that apartment's not set up for zoning. So that's definitely impossible to get around because it's not set up for it. So that's another problem. And then on top of that, operating in the state of California without a business license, that's another headache right there because, again, he doesn't have one. So that's another fine they're going to put against him. So, like I said, I gave him till the end of the day. And he said he called me a racist and said, well, you're a racist, you're this, that, and the other, you're all these things. Well, okay, you're saying I'm a racist. You're saying everything I'm doing is wrong, that you have legitimate ability to do all this, and you're running a real 100% business. That's what you're telling me, right? And I'm basically just interfering because I'm supposed to be jealous of what you're doing, right? All right then, well, if that's not a problem, do us a big favor, record it. We all want to see it on YouTube. Walk over to Baldwin Police Department, go in and bring the stuff with you in recording, bring it all with you, record your stuff before leaving out, and tell them at the end of the day that, hey, this is what I'm doing. Is it against the law? I bet you as the nose is on my face, you don't walk out of that police station. I guarantee they'll arrest you right there on the spot. I guarantee you. Go over to, I would say check zoning first, at least you can leave out of there. Go over to zoning, code enforcement, since I'm running a business out of my apartment. I'm running 3 full-size printing machines. Actually, 2 small tabletops and 1's full. Printing machines in there. I do not have the proper zoning permit. I don't have a business license. This is what I'm doing. See what happens. See if they don't shut that place down automatically. So, again, if I'm wrong on all of this. So, if your neighbor had complained, say your neighbor really figured out what you were doing, say they complained, and they called the police, and the police came down there and saw all that stuff you were doing and arrested you, all right? And then they have to contact zoning. Zoning has to come through there because they have to see if the building is fit. They come to there and they see all this equipment, everything running in there, and they put a red tag on the door. And they have to go to the other apartments to see if any of the apartments contain any of the fumes. They have to put a detector in there to see how safe the air is and all that stuff. They have to do a full test on that place, on everything. They're going to test the water, everything, to make sure it wasn't dumping chemicals down the water, down the pipes. They're going to go out and check dumpsters, all that stuff to see how he was disposing of stuff. And since he doesn't have a license, he doesn't have any agreement with sanitation to pick up any of this stuff, so what's he doing with it? This is where that problem comes in. So now they got to mark his apartment unlivable until they can get all that testing done. So, what are they going to do? They're going to put him in lockup. That's what they're going to do. They're going to process him and put him in lockup, and that's where he's going to be at. And then they're going to do a background check and find out that your document on our side pops up. Because again, they go to immigration. Immigration is going to tell them, hey, we got 2 charges on him from a fellow by the name of Kenneth Bird. So they reach out to me. I have no problem. All my information's in there. I'll gladly fly down there and talk to him about this whole situation and how you came in and violated my company's copyrights. How you went in and did what you wanted to do it today. We had literally have a process server come to your front door. So this shows, Jamie, as you see, this shows a trail of you doing this, touching people's stuff and doing what you want to do with it, and figure there's no consequences behind it. And while we're down, it's not only that, the Universal Studios, Frankenstein, we bought several products from him with using the name, making money off their name. So now you show a track record, a history of doing this. This does not look good. So now they're going to file charges against you. Once they file charges against you and they find out you're not basically legal, you're not paperwork here, guess who you have to reach out to? They got to reach out to immigration. Has to be reached. And when immigration comes up there, they got to bring the ICE unit with you. You have to be locked up. So either way, you were going, whether your neighbor did it to you or whether we did it in the day. Now, if everything you had was legit, 100%, you was running a legit business, there should be no reason for anybody calling anybody on you, even if you don't have paperwork here. Because you're not breaking any laws. I don't have a problem with someone being here without paperwork. If they're here trying to earn and trying to basically live a life down here, they're trying to get a piece of that American dream, those you people that have a problem with someone living here without paperwork, you're racist. I'm going to call you racist from the door. Because what other reason would you be against them of being here? Because you do know how your forefathers and stuff got over here to begin with, right? You do remember that, right? America wasn't owned by Americans, it was owned by the American Indian. So if the American Indian had their way, all of us would be deported out of here. So don't get like that at the end of the day. Move on. Anyway, so as I'm saying, that anyone here that doesn't have paperwork, and anyone here at the end of the day that's running a business and doing honesty and everything by the book, has a right to get their citizenship and have a right to be here. They have that right. But if you're over here committing crimes, you don't have that right. And this is where we get people that are bigots at the end of the day who get this mixed up. They think at the end of the day that because they don't have paperwork, they all should be cast out. Well, American Indian feels the same way about you too. That you shouldn't be here either. Because you should be out of here too also. So with that being said, anyone's not committing any crime. Anyone's over here minding their own business, doing their own thing, working hard, trying to get a piece of that American dream, has that right to get a piece of that American dream at the end of the day. But if you're over here committing crimes, if you're over here breaking the law, don't even think about trying to put yourself in the same situation as in somebody over here who goes to work, works a 9 to 5, puts his kids in school, works an honest living, and not breaking the law. You don't belong in that category, Fernando, at all whatsoever. You are what we call a criminal. That's what you are. That's like saying an American citizen over here is the same as somebody just went and robbed the bank. You're not the same person. The other person probably works a 9 to 5, comes home, takes care of his kids, pay the bills, you use your routine, that's what he does. He goes to the bank, drops his money off, that's what he does. He doesn't walk in there with a ski mask and a shotgun and demand money. There's a difference between the two. One's a criminal, one's not a criminal. Same thing with over here. If you have somebody over here who doesn't have paperwork and they're working a 9 to 5 and doing what they're supposed to do and they're working for their citizenship, they're not criminals. You are a criminal because you came over here and broke the law. You ripped off a bunch of companies, as I said before, multiple times. And I got something else for you to tell you. If you remove anything out of that apartment, if you hide anything out of that apartment, you have clearly admitted that you are guilty. Just want to let you know that from the book. Talk to your friends of mine at the end of the day. You move anything out of that apartment, shows you're guilty. Because why do people hide things? When they don't want people to find out about those things. That's what they do. Or you can sit there and say, well, You deleted the video. Yeah, I delete videos. I delete videos when I'm not happy with them. When I'm not happy. When I spend too much time talking about other things like rainbows and other stuff that doesn't need to be added into the video that we're literally talking about. That's what I delete videos. Other than that, I'll repeat the same thing I said over and over and over again. When he sat there and tried to shame me by saying that, he said at the end of the day, he wants to deport me because buddy, I said it right there on camera multiple times. I even showed you the document that we actually went in and filed against you. Yes, I called ICE on you. Yes, I did. 100% I called ICE on you. Why? Because you try to rip off my country at the end. That's what you try to do. That's what you try to do. You try to profit and make money off the backs of Americans who made money in this country. I don't care if you're overseas at the end of the day. It is your stuff. You have a right to it. You don't have a right to touch it. That's how it works at the end of the day. For you to sit there at the end of the day and get mad at me and says, oh, he called ICE on me to try to make me look bad. Yeah, because you're a criminal. That's what you are. You're a criminal. And if you're not a criminal, Fernando, this is what you do. You walk into that Baldwin Police Department. You take all that evidence, make sure you record it because we all want to see it, and you tell them face to face to a bunch of officers what you did. Don't forget zoning. Don't forget the fire marshals. Don't forget code enforcement. Tell them all, everything. You're operating without a license. That basically that your building's not zoned for, but you're still operating these machines. I want you to tell them the whole 9 yards, how much stuff you have on in your storage unit, everything. As a matter of fact, if you didn't do anything wrong, how about you do us a bigger favor? How about you go down to your storage unit and show us the building? Show us the building and show us the storage unit where your stuff is at. And if you feel that you got nothing to hide and you didn't do anything wrong, you can start with that first. Bet you won't see a video on it. Bet you $100. You know why? Because you don't want anybody to know what's in that building, in a storage unit. When I showed up my storage unit, I backed up and said, here's my unit right here, this is the rest, so and so and so. What am I hiding? The only thing I got in there is projectors, scaffolding equipment for hanging up screens and tools. That's all that's in there. Stuff that I don't want here, I put over there. What do you have in your storage unit? Oh, a whole bunch of stolen items at the end of the day that you went in and you basically committed piracy, counterfeiting, the whole 9 yards, stored them there for you to sell and make money off other people's hard work. That's what you have in yours. So, go ahead. Entertain us. Go over to the storage unit. Show us the building. Show us where you got your stuff stored at. Because you're going to find it either way. It doesn't make a difference. Show all of us it. I bet you don't do it. And the reason why you can't do it, because you're a criminal. That's why. What do you worry about? Somebody breaking and taking your stuff? You know how hard it is to break into a storage unit? Are you kidding me? There's a security unit out there. You walked into one. There's a difference between all outside storage unit and inside. Inside storage unit is very hard to break into because you have to go through a security system just to get to the storage unit itself. That thing has cameras wrapped all around it. So the fact that you walked in one, that's an inside storage unit. So, Jamie, you have to understand, your storage unit has cameras all over it. That thing recorded you walking in and out of that unit. All they have to do is track down the storage units closer to your area, and that's how they would pinpoint exactly where you came from. They can even pick up off your cell phone signal and pinpoint exactly where you're located at. You can't get away with anything at the end of the day. Nobody in Matrix was sitting over there laughing about it, dumb things he's hidden. At the end of the day, he can locate your location and figure out exactly where your storage unit is at. Because I guarantee you, most people don't get storage units from a faraway distance. Because you got to travel all the way out there to put stuff out there. You got to travel to take stuff back. You usually get a storage unit that's closer to their home. That's what they do. Easy to bring things back and forth. That's just human nature. So I bet you that storage unit is right in your area. And if it's your sister's storage unit, which I know it is, it's not yours. Because you can't get a storage unit. It's in her name. Just like at the table, you couldn't have walked in there on a vending's license. You can't get a vending's license. You have to have an actual license to get one of those. You got to put a lot of information to get one of those. So you don't have one. You're on hers. That's why she's with you there. That unit is hers, not yours. Tell me if I'm wrong on that one. So if it's hers at the end of the day, that means that it's got to be close by. Easy to find. So do us a favor, and how about you do us a big favor? You go on YouTube, you got nothing to hide, right? Go to the storage unit, show us the building, record it, walk inside, you put the camera in there, walk inside. When you walk in, show us the unit, your unit, and pull out those items and show us what you got in there. If you got nothing to hide at the end of the day. Because the police are going to get it sooner or later. Doesn't make a difference. See, and if a person if the person can't show you all that, there's something wrong there. That shows you at the end of the day that they're doing something they know they shouldn't be doing. So you're not running a legitimate business. You're running a site that's designed to rip off and fleece America. And I can't say just America. Pretty much, you ripped off some overseas countries too. Because you ripped off Bandai. Dragon Ball Z belongs to them. You know that, right? Yeah, and the Gundam. Ripped them off too, right? Jeez, man. I don't know what's worse. I don't know if it's worse the fact that he was on camera bragging about this, running the machines that could have potentially burnt down that building, or even worse, man, if the flames would have got to that chemicals in there. Oh my goodness, man. And you could have put, who knows how much of that stuff you printed out, and judging by the boxes with the Jason mask in them, on how much he was printing out, all that stuff, poison himself, poison his family, poison the dogs, poison people next to him. You know, somebody can be painting in an apartment, you can still smell it, even though you're over, you can still smell it. If he was in an inside unit, he'd have been busted a long time ago. If he's in an outside unit, but apartments are outside where you go in, it's kind of like a motel, but like an apartment unit. If it was inside, somebody in the hallway would have smelled that quickly. But I'm pretty sure there's people, let me see, that's a 2-story building. So people underneath him definitely would have picked it up. And anyone next to him. You're on the floor, almost like a near corner of the end of it all. Yeah. He's gonna be removed. Like I said, if he feels he didn't do anything wrong, that's what you do. But that's all the things you don't do from the door. Whatever you're selling, make sure what you sell is legit at the end of the day. I got some things I'm gonna put on the Crystal Witch site to help people if they want to start their business, all the things you need to do, who you need to contact and talk to. Mine, this is what I got here in Pennsylvania, but you can take that and get that information, go back to your own state and say, hey, you know, I'm looking to get this or get that. Maybe you want to go down to IRS with yourself, the EIN number, business tax wholesale license, which is good to have. You stuff retail. I mean, I'm wholesale, is what I spend it for that. Go down to City Hall. Sometimes it may be IRS, it may be City Hall, depending on what in your state. Mine is City Hall. You go down and get your business license. Business license is very easy to get. Get it if you want to do e-commerce business. Get an e-commerce business. I would say if you're going to sell and you want to pick up traffic, best way to do it is go on eBay. I know eBay, you know, but still, eBay brings a lot of traffic to your door. That's what it does. What you want to do is build up a nice clientele with eBay. Sell on there for a while, make your money. And then what you do is later on, when you got enough followers, then you redirect your followers to your own website. There you go. Now you got traffic flowing to your website, including all the other traffic you're going to pick up. And best business is word of mouth. So that's the best way. Disconnect from eBay. But don't, you can't put it on your bulletin board because that can get you in trouble. I would say the best way to do it is to every time you send them out a thank you through email on your account, use your account, don't use anyone account. I don't use Wix email, none of that. I use my own. Send it out and say, hey, look, my company's going to be leaving eBay, which is actually legitimate. I'm leaving eBay, and this is going to be my new site. And you'll be good to go. And you got a nice following that's going to buy from you. That's good to go from there. But make sure you get all that done. If you're going through PayPal, get a business account through PayPal. The business account has better perks than the the other account, I forgot what it's called. One's for business. The business is better because the business got all kinds of perks to help your business. One of them is loans. You get capital. They got something called PayPal Capital loans. You can get a loan from them. I got close to maybe about roughly down through time about $50,000 for loans from them. Paid them all back. So yeah, better you pay them back. Better is for you to get the loans. And on top of that, they take a certain percentage out, out of you. You have to pay a huge chunk if you don't want to. So that's a good way to go too with it. What else on top of that? Get yourself a nice business email. Go through Grass Shopper. I went through them to get an 800 number. Of course, you're going to have weirdos on there calling from time to time, but the good thing about it is they have a security system on it. And one of the security systems they have on there is being able to trace calls. Yeah, so the buddy was calling up over and over again. We know where you live at. And your address. Yeah. They pinged the daylights out of that joke. We know a lot of stuff about him. But anyway, that's for another later time for court. That will be set up on a file when you take the individual to court. So, however way you want to go with that, you're going to take them to court. It's in the business. You're literally going to take someone to court for doing something stupid. if you have something that you own, that you're making at the end of the day, so you got a special something that you like and you're making and people like and they buy it, maybe it's a t-shirt or whatever it may be, this is the best place to go to get all your protection from LegalZoom. Because it can cost you a lot of money in patents, it costs you a lot of money in trademarks, it costs you money in copyrights. Go to them, get all your paperwork done, get an account with them. They're very reasonable. Make sure you get yourself patent. Make sure you get them copyrights. I would go with something called a what's it called? Provisional patent. Provisional patent, I think that's the one it is. That basically will give you protection up to 1 year, and then it gives you a chance to give you like a dry run of your product. Now, if it sells really good, then you know the next stage is to get the it's a provisional patent, temporary patent, patent pending. Sorry, patent pending. Get a patent pending. A patent pending, you see them sometimes on stuff at the end of the day, on like stuff you buy, patent pending. It's pretty much a patent that's good for 1 year, protects you for 1 year. So that gives you a test run to see if your product sells well. If it doesn't do well, at least at the end of the day, you spend $15,000 or a lot of money for a patent. At the end of the day, you got a chance to get a nice test run. And they're like $800, $900, but it's definitely worth it to get that done. At least it protects your stuff as you has it out there, when you have it out there for that 1 year time. Later on, as things start to progress, you can basically switch over and get yourself. You're going to need a patent either way. But trademarks, you definitely want to get. Protect your company's name. You definitely want to go with anything with copyrights, anything you're drawing, stuff like that. Get all that stuff copyrighted, stuff like that, so you're good to go. So that way, you don't have to worry about somebody come along and try to rip you off. That's why. So therefore, gentlemen, as an Oatmeal who contacted us, that's the best name we can give him, Oatmeal, who contacted me and said that it's not against the law what he did. Well, let's see if Jamie throws you under the bus. I'm going to bet he's throwing you clean under the bus. I think he's going to get a running start, hit a trampoline before he tosses you. I mean, you're going way under the bus. But anyway, that's the reason why you have to get all that stuff so people don't take your stuff. That's why. So make sure all your stuff is locked in. Make sure you pay for the patent search. Patent search is very important because that means they're going to go out and they're going to search everywhere to see if anybody comes up with that name, as in Jamie touched that cube at the end of the day. And Jamie, if you thought you got away with that, no, because we're using it as extensive evidence to show that you have a history of touching people's copyrighted, patent, and trademark materials. Because you did. We got you all in recording, touching stuff, and pictures and stuff. Oh, you're doing all this stuff. We'll send it all over to him today. Oh. But yeah, that's the road you want to go down. Get yourself eBay, and then go from there and channel into other sites like Wix and GoDaddy and stuff like that. You know, if you want to go down that road, starting your own business. You know what I mean? If you do brick and mortar is something different. You know what I mean? It's a whole different setup at the end of the day. It really is. You know, but I mean, it depends on what you want to do at the end of the day. You know, it's up to you. And you know exactly who to go through with your advertising technology, because it would be us. Because we get that technology reads outside. You know. And everybody was sitting there looking at it right next to the store. He said, wow, you got that thing operating. Yeah, right next to the store, man. 300 projector. Which means if we had set up with that store, which we can't, because we can't sell this stuff yet. We're still testing it. Still got to go through winter season first. We got to run through a winter season first. But we're still testing it at the end of the day. And then on top of that, keep in mind, it ain't coming out till 2026. But at least we can go to that store and say, hey, look, here you go. Da-da-da-da, this is our screen, so forth, and that's it. Set it up, and they can do the videos and whatever they want right through that storefront. And there's no traffic and no cars going through there, so it wouldn't really get us in any trouble. That'd be fantastic for that. So, that's pretty much basically about it. You know, you want to make sure you do everything legit. Do it by the book. You don't have to worry about getting bit in the face later on with any other dumb nonsense that may pop up, like this guy did. This guy's a horrible businessman at the end of the day. Absolutely horrible. I mean, he came up with some paint business. How well did that do at the end of the day? It failed. It went under because he was doing a whole lot of stuff he wasn't supposed to be doing. He ripped off a bunch of his customers in the long run. His products are matching house paint. We got a box under the table. Oh, it's over there now. He couldn't even back up his own stuff in that basic black and white paint. That's all it was. And the sad thing about it is that paint has been around for 10 years because it was a YouTube paint made exactly the same way. They call it the YouTube paint. Same thing. Same thing. It's the same exact stuff. Because I made it a long time ago. So that's all I know. Same thing. So he charged you for something that they literally gave away for free. And at one point, you know, the funny part about that is, it was for free because he gave it away for free. because he couldn't sell that stuff. It was a free paint at that time. So now no one's really heard about the YouTube paint. He figured, let me cash in and try to sell something that's been out there in the market for years that people have used way before you started on YouTube, way before I started on YouTube. So always running something, always doing something you're supposed to be doing. So don't do what Jamie does. Do the opposite of what Jamie does. Go in a different direction. Jamie will get you locked up. As you see, everybody who followed behind him and did Jamie's bidding is getting locked up. Locked up and sued. All right, that's basically about it. I got things I got to do. I got this business package I got to hook up for a friend of mine. He is interested in basically, I don't know if I'm going to go down this road or not, to tell you the truth, but he wants to sell for our company. I've done that one before. I had to think about that one. But I think I may not. I'm not sure. But he's a good friend of mine. Let's see how it goes. I'll give him an opportunity. I give everybody an opportunity. But that's the only one. That's it. I'm not doing anybody else. That's it. Now I have to go make phone calls in a dozen places or so. I have to get my phone off. Anyway, I turn that thing off. I'm going to turn it off. Anyway, on top of that, Fernando, I can't just say this enough. The companies, I need you to contact those companies like Nintendo, Corp of America. I got the number for Universal Studio Legal Department. You know, you need to contact all those places and tell them at the end of the day, if you feel, like you said, that what you're doing is legit and you can't be prosecuted for this, and it's all about me being angry at the end of the day about the success of your printing business, then you wouldn't have a problem contacting the companies that you print it from and explain to them that situation. Because I would love to see that live. So I'm going to tell you, people, and predict this ahead of time. We ain't going to see jack. We ain't seeing nothing. You know why we ain't going to see nothing? Because you know it's darn well right. And I guarantee you, Fernando is right now trying to hide whatever he has in that apartment or try to get rid of it. Go ahead. Try to. But we got everything recorded. Everything is documented. And they've been on your site already. When I gave them that information, they've been on that site already. So they already saw what they saw at the end of the day. So just if you get any bright ideas or saying that because you're known for deleting stuff. You know, we caught you red-handed a couple of times trying to delete stuff. Right in the middle of the video, deleting stuff. So if you think in the back of your mind that you're going to try to delete stuff, I sent them information, letting them know when I said update on the information, I said these are copies of the videos because he has a habit of deleting evidence. So they know already from the door you got to have to get rid of it. So this is what you do. If you feel that everything you're doing is legit, leave everything where it's at. Leave it all where. Continue to make your videos. As you said, you did nothing wrong, right? Leave everything there. That's all you got to do. And when they get there, or when you get there, you explain to them why you have a right to do all that stuff. And I guarantee you, you don't. Well, that's basically about it. The do's and don'ts of business. Don't do what Jamie does at the end of the day. Jamie will get you locked up. That's what's going to happen. You'll lose everything. They'll get you locked up. Alright, well, that's basically about it. I'm good, happy with this video. Short and sweet. Didn't go off the rails about rainbows and freaking, I have to figure out something crazy. But anyway, my mind wanders. That's what happens. Something pops in my head. I start calculating, like, how is it done? Yeah, that's real crazy. Yep. And in there, I got 3 brain twisters in my head that basically screw you up for life. Like, literally in there. Yep, you gotta learn how to control and category all your thoughts. Keep it here, there, and there. All right, I got stuff to do. Gotta go. Thank you for your time, and God bless.